What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal two hosts, myself, Alpha Dog Bets, with JD from Line Movers, but we are very excited to announce that Spencer from KO Locks is here. Spencer, always a pleasure getting to hop on and chop up the slate with you. How are you today, my brother?
What's up, man? It's good to be here. Good to chop up the slate. I'm ready to go over some NBA. We have a new season here. We have some surprising teams that are going to come and hopefully mix it up with us. But looking at yesterday's games, just some nasty stuff that was going on. The Celtics couldn't miss a three, so that just wiped the hopes of a lot of stuff. So I'm glad to be here. Glad to jump in with you, goats. So let's go.
Excited to have you here, and you kind of introed what I wanted to briefly talk about, which was yesterday's slate. Man, the Knicks did not show up. All the new wing pieces they added, all the new offensive pieces they added, did not click right away. Sometimes that does happen with teams that have a lot of new pieces, so more to come on the Knicks. It may be a time to not play the Knicks and fade them early on with how they're looking, but more to come with that. On the other side, the Lakers had a fantastic performance. We on the show yesterday, most of us did think that the T-Wolves would take it, but that's why it's a new NBA season. We have to learn all the new nuances and new things we have to do. So, interesting game there, but it was great to have the first day of the NBA back. JD, over to you. You smashed your Anthony Davis prop last night, per usual. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. And yeah, this should be a really fun show. We had Spencer on with us back all the way on show number 2.
Yep.
And actually, he has not been on since. So yeah, this actually should be a really fun show.
Yeah, excited to have you on, Spencer. You're one of the best in the business, so we appreciate you making time and hopping on here with us. Over to the comments. Bill, who is always here. We appreciate you, Mr. Norman, saying, happy hump day, fellas. Let's beat the books. I am all in for that. Nick Castrucci, who's here every day. We appreciate you, Nick, saying, holy shit, it is Spencer. It's him. He has a face. He's a real person, and he's here to give out some winners today. Casper is here as well. He likes having Jammer here. Jammer will be back, Casper, but we appreciate you tuning in. Casper comes to us all the way from the Faroe Islands. Bonus point if anybody out there can point to a map and tell us where the Faroe Islands are. But Casper, we appreciate you tuning in from all the way overseas. Fellas, we have a beautiful 5-game slate to go over today. But before we do, Spencer, I hear you got a couple futures for the people. What do you got?
Yeah, I got a couple futures. So I've been looking in, obviously, at the start of the season, trying to find some edges on some over win totals here. We are risking 2 units on a couple here. I'll give out. We have quite a few futures that we sent out earlier to subscribers. I'm going to give out Warriors over 43.5 wins at minus 125. I look to see a different Warriors team this year. Obviously, last year, very disappointing year. And now with the Klay Thompson gone, you have one of the sharpshooters gone, but their depth this year should be very interesting. And especially with the defensive efficiency hopefully going up. They tend to play better defensively, obviously, in let's say past seasons. But with Draymond Green taking this mark, obviously my favorite player in the league. A lot of people give me grief because he is my favorite player, but he needs to take more of a role on the defensive end. And then you add in Kuminga, you add in Moody, and I can't always pronounce this dude's name, but is it Podzinski or whatever the hell his name is? But the younger prospects for the Warriors should take on more of a defensive role. And so defense always leads the championship. So I'm going to take their over win total, as well as the Grizzlies over 46.5. With Ja Morant coming back, I do expect some things to happen here. So I like those 2 over win totals. So let's put that in there.
I like that. Both of those I also am on as well. This Warriors team did retool a little bit. They added guys like Lindy Waters, who's a decent shooter. They added guys like Buddy Hield, who's also a decent shooter. And they returned some of the core, such as Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. So I definitely agree with you. This should be a bigger year for them, especially without the distraction of Klay Thompson. We all saw how that kind of story ended for the Warriors. It wasn't a great way to see a legend of a team leave the team like that. You could tell he really didn't want to. But they should be able to progress. You were right with Brandon Podzinski. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't either. But this team does have a ton of potential. Same with the Grizzlies. I love with Ja returning and the other moves that they have made. They should be a much better team than they were last year. But more to come on both of those games, on both of those teams later today. We will be covering both of those teams. Just a little spoiler for you. Spencer, any other futures from you today before we dive into the first game of the slate?
No, I'll say that's it. If you want to throw, I guess I can throw a long shot out there. But man, I have the Cavs to win the finals at 0.25 units. This is a major long shot. That's 61 right now. Obviously, there's some other ones that we have out to VIP, but just as a mega long shot, you can hedge this later on, but just kind of a fun little sprinkle bet.
We all love fun, long season, long-term bets, so that's a good one. We will monitor that. And if you guys want to get more of KO Locks, a.k.a. Spencer's futures and picks, make sure you tap into the Moneyball Metrics Discord. It's the #1 community in the world. Get in there, have some fun, and let's continue to beat the books. JD, you ready to dive into the first game we have on the slate today?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it, my friend. First game we are going to be covering, guys, is going to be the Orlando Magic taking on the Miami Heat in Miami. We have the Battle of Florida today. Let's break down how the rosters are looking. The Magic are coming in pretty healthy. They have nobody on the injury report. But on the other side, the Miami Heat will be without Josh Richardson. Don't think that's a huge loss for them, but he will not be there tonight. Spencer, we're going to start with you. What do you like in this Magic Heat game?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a nasty, ugly game. These teams are more defensive teams. Obviously, both of them struggled on the offensive side last year. The Magic actually ranked second in defensive efficiency rating last year, and the Heat were fifth. So I'm looking to game should tend more to the under. Both of these teams are pretty identical to me, actually. One of the props that stuck out to me as I was researching this game and kind of going into last year's last few games is Bam's threes. You can get that at over a half. I don't know the specific line that you can get that out right now, but the ability for Bam to space the floor should be one of the more intriguing factors in this game, obviously, as he's a mobile big stepping out to kind of provide more of the spacing on the offense, especially with how good these defenses really are. In the last 17 games of last season, he actually made it 3 in 11 of those games. And in those last 17 games, he actually shot 50%. So he was 14 of 28 in those last 17 games. So if I need to look up specifically what that over 0.5 is. But I kind of like that prop. It's not going to be a best bet, obviously. But if I were to throw a sprinkle down on this game, I do kind of like Bam to hit a 3, especially like we said, the spacing on the offensive side of the floor.
FanDuel definitely agrees with you. They are saying that it is a -170 right now for those odds at 0.5. So potentially, if you like one of the sides, it's a good parlay piece. It's similar to JD's AD prop. It's a little bit more than what that was. But when you have a good read on a bet, I definitely like going with it and finding a way to incorporate it for sure. Do you like any side on this game? Any official total? Any official side?
I would just lean the under this game. Obviously, it's at 208 right now. Nothing specific matches out to me. It's kind of, like I said, a nasty defensive game. So if I had to throw something out there, it would be the under of 208. But nothing that I'm gonna love in this game particularly. Like a nasty little defensive game. A lot of these two teams can't score particularly really great. So. Nothing officially from my side.
I love that play as well, because unless Jimmy Butler really has one of his signature Jimmy games where he's going for 35-40, I don't see Miami putting up anywhere near the points to get over this total. So I agree with you 100%. I like it. Over to the comments before I give my official pick. Edgar Santiago is here in our YouTube. We appreciate you tapping in, brother. He loves Bam's threes. Yesterday it was +105. Now it's -190. So seems like a lot of people have been listening to KO Locks in the Discord because that line is moving like crazy. We also have Joe in the Discord as well saying, "What's up, fellas? We appreciate you tuning in as always, Joe." NBA, a.k.a. Christmas in October. We are back. I say it every day on this show. I don't know if it's the right phrase, but we're in the cornucopia of sports. And I'm going to keep sticking with that phrase. It's the best time of year. We get all the action. And quickly, I will go over my play in this game. I'm on the Magic here as the dog at +2. I do think they will keep this close, but this game, either way, I think is going to be decided by 5 points or less on either end. This one is going to be a gritty defensive battle. That's why we see a total of 208. And the Magic, to me, I think are going to be a complete team that fools some people this year. They just locked in Jalen Suggs to a long-term contract. A lot of people were iffy on that deal. I think he's a quality player. I think he brings a ton to this team. Franz Wagner is poised to have a big season, as well as Paolo Banchero. So I do think that the Stars of Orlando will have a big game, and this Orlando team is poised for a bigger year, in my opinion, than the Miami Heat. So give me the Magic plus the 2. Little sneak peek here. It may or may not be one of my best bets. JD, what do you got?
Yeah, Alpha. You actually said that great here. As far as the Magic this season, I am actually definitely high actually on them. As far as the Heat, I'm like really not.
Agreed.
I was looking as far as their schedule goes. I was actually looking at their last year's schedule also. And as far as the adjusted strength of schedule for last year, they had the actual easiest one. And this year they're not going to have that.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm just really not high actually like on this team. With saying actually all that though, these like numbers to me, they look pretty like spot on. I like really don't see a big edge there. The under, I do definitely lean there. If it got up to actually like 210, I actually like would bet the under there, but I doubt that we see that though.
I'm in the same boat. I like the +2 because I think the total is a little low at the 208, but I do think it still goes under that number, but I was a little more comfortable. So I definitely agree with you there. Are you going to be using the famous alpha line here?
Yep.
Guys, sometimes the best play you can make on a game is no play. You know, I love that. So no, this one should be a very close game. I definitely understand why you would take that approach. Let's move on to the second game we have, fellas, which is going to be the Bucks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Story of this game. Paul George and Joel Embiid are not playing. They are already ruled out, and we have heard already that these guys will not be playing in back-to-backs all season long. So that's been a big controversy right now. On the other side, the Bucks injury report, Chris Middleton is going to be out for at least the first couple games of the year. They are saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo is a true game-time decision, but truthfully, I think he gives it a go. I don't think there's any way that Giannis misses opening night here tonight. So those are the injury report. We'll start with JD. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, just like you there, I do think that Giannis plays tonight. And as long as he does play, to me, this line just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
But this is the first game of the season, so this is nothing to go like big on. But with the starting with actually the starting 5 that we're going to see on each side here, for every change that I could possibly make, the lowest that I could make this line was actually -6. And really, I think it should be like a little over like 7. So for me, this is a very clear actually Bucks play. It is the NBA. We never know. So hopefully Giannis does play. But this is the game to me with the fact that so many people are like out and everything, and it's literally the first game of the season.
Yep.
This is like the NBA is like back game.
Yep, I feel exactly the same way you do. When you take a look at the starting 5 of Philadelphia today, it's going to be Tyrese Maxey at the point guard, then Kelly Oubre, but then you get into a point where you're going to have to see either KJ Martin start at the 3 for the 76ers. At the 4, they're going to have to go with Caleb Martin, and at center, they're going to have to go with Andre Drummond. So we all know Andre Drummond is a decent player in short spurts, but if Andre Drummond has to be your primary center for the entire game, especially this early in the year with his conditioning probably not up to its mid-season form, I definitely think the Bucks are going to be able to run this game all over Philly. I think the key to this game is going to be the Bucks with possession, pushing pace. You're going to want to tire out this Philly team, and they don't have the stars in there tonight to shoot them back into the game. So I absolutely am all over the Bucks with you. It is one of my favorite plays of the day. Give me the Bucks at the -3.5. Spencer, are we making it a family ride, or are you going the other way?
Yeah, man, I think this is lining up to be a squad ride here. When I look at this game, and especially you were talking just this projected starting lineup and everything, how small are these 76ers going today? And against this Bucks lineup, I mean, you have Giannis playing basically the power forward spot, and I'm not sure who are they gonna match up with him. And I think Giannis will play today. Obviously, when you just get into the personalities of the NBA, Giannis tends to be in that probable area quite a bit, but he plays most of those games. He wants to put up these numbers. Obviously, when we were talking about Embiid and PG not wanting to play in these back-to-back games and how kind of soft the NBA is getting, Giannis is one of those players that wants to play, always has the personality to be playing in these opening games. The Bucks have actually won in 6 of their last 7 opening games. I'm going to be writing. Even without Giannis, I think the Bucks have enough. That's a great comment by Joe. I am going to take the Bucks also at -3.5. Actually, one of the props that I was looking at right before we got on the show, I'm interested to see what you can get for Giannis to be the top scorer in tonight's game. Just to start this off, Maxey probably will be taking the most shot for the 76ers. And I was looking at his under assists as well. Obviously, nothing for me that's going to be a best bet other than just the Bucks -3.5. But if I can get a number on what Giannis have the most,
I got it.
Points, what is that?
I got it. +150.
Yeah, and that's not a crazy. I would like to see some more value on that. But if you want to take something, I mean, if you want to throw that in a parlay piece tonight, he's going to be taking a lot of shots, and I don't think. And I mean, if you have like Andre Drummond guarding him, or I don't even matchup predictor that we have on this game, the 76ers are so undersized today. So I think you'll see Giannis putting up a lot of points.
Could not agree more. So we have a squad ride. Let's see the Bucks win this game by 25 points. I'd rather have this one cash easily so we don't have to sweat and we can move on to our later games and enjoy a comfortable win. But let's keep it moving, fellas.
You know what? One thing really quick there. If just like you were saying though, if the Bucks do win this game, I think this actually could be a big blowout game.
So do I. So
this is one that I would definitely do like some alt lines on.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see that happening for sure. I do think the Bucks are going to run with this. The only thing that scares me is that it's a 3.5, and it's the NBA. And we all thought yesterday that T-Wolves game was a free gift from the gods, and it ended up not being. So we're treading lightly. For me, at least, all these games for the first week of NBA season are only one unit. We have to learn about the new teams. We have to see how quickly they gel with each other with the new pieces. So you can't go too crazy on the first week of NBA, but this one to me seems like my favorite play of the day. I think this one is the one with the biggest edge, and I do think this is the one with the biggest blowout potential of all the games that we will be covering. Let's keep it moving, fellas. Next one we have on the list is going to be the Grizzlies taking on the Utah Jazz. Lengthy injury report for the Grizzlies tonight. Luke Kennard out. Vince Williams out. Cam Spencer out. Jaren Jackson Jr. out. Gigi Jackson out. On the other side for the Jazz, Johnny Juzang out and Isaiah Collier out. But this Grizzlies team is getting back Ja Morant, the heart and soul of this team. They've retooled as well. They drafted a big man out of college who I know everybody knows who I'm talking about, in Zach Edey, who I am a absolutely massive fan of. A lot of people did not think Edey's game would translate to the NBA. We had Jammer Betts on the show yesterday to go over his futures. We were taking a look at Rookie of the Year and all these different things. Rookie of the Year right now, big favorite is Zach Edey. He's coming in at a 2.5 to 1 when everyone else is closer to an 8 or 9 to 1. So they're expecting Edey to have a big year catching lobs from Ja Morant. We'll start with Spencer. What do you think about this new retooled Grizzlies team? They have Ja Morant. They have Marcus Smart. They got Desmond Bane. They got Zach Edey. What do you think this team's going to be, and what do you think of this matchup tonight?
Man, if I could say one word for this team, and it kind of always been the same word initially before, obviously, Ja Morant pulled out a Glock and some other things. But if I could use one word for this team, it's grit. This team has a lot of grit. They show defensive hustle. And a lot of the times in these like opening night games, and I saw a comment earlier about this. I think Joe was saying something about just hustling. And the reason why the T-Wolves didn't get it done last night is Anthony Edwards was really the only one showing some fight yesterday. So if I'm going to tread into this Grizzlies game, obviously I think this Grizzlies team is highly underrated coming into this season. The Jazz were one of the worst defensive teams last year, ranking second to last. And I'm expecting Ja and Bane and Marcus Smart to set the tone early defensively on the defensive end, not allowing the Jazz to find a rhythm from the 3-point line. I want to use this grit on the defensive end. Imagine just getting Ja back is a huge boost for this team, for team morale and everything. So I'm going to be taking the Grizzlies to cover this 2 points tonight on the road versus a Jazz team that are going to be tanking later in the year, I think, to get a nice pick position in the lottery line. But just everything rolling for the Jazz, especially the tenacity that they have on the defensive end. Like we said earlier, defense being on the defensive end wins championships.
Absolutely.
And just being a tenacious defense in these opening games will be huge for the Grizzlies. So give me them at -2. It's going to be a best bet for me. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be sticking with tonight.
Letting out the best bet early. I love that out of you. Going over this game, to me, it's important to look at the depth chart here. And this Utah Jazz team does have some good pieces, but I really don't believe in this the depth of the Utah Jazz. Their starters are decent. Their starting five can put together some nice runs, but when they have to go to the bench, I think they're going to be absolutely exposed. They have Keontae George starting point guard, Colin Sexton at the shooting guard, Lauri Markkanen, who's fantastic at the 3, Taylor Hendricks, rookie at the 4, and John Collins at the 5. After their starters, you look at the bench, they really have Jordan Clarkson, who's a decent piece, but outside of him, they really have nothing. I know they have Patty Mills as a backup point guard. He would be a great piece 5 years ago. Patty's a little bit past his prime. He really couldn't stick on anywhere last year. And the rest of their bench guys are all rookies or guys that really don't have a lot of positive experience. Kyle Filipowski, the rookie, is one of the backups as well. Svi Mikhailuk, Cody Williams, Bryce Sensabaugh. Nobody off their bench scares you. And then the other guys they have on the bench, like Johnny Juzang and Isaiah Collier, guys they're hoping to be splash picks, some new guys for the team. They're just not going to be there. So I do think this one may stay close early, but as this game progresses and the deeper and deeper we go, I do think this Grizzlies team will get after that bench and be able to take it to them. Give me the Grizzlies on the -2. It is going to be a best bet for me as well. JD, family ride, or are you going against us?
I like everything actually, like y'all both said there. I don't really have much to actually really add. To me, I am staying off of it though. This is a team, the Grizzlies team. I just need to see it.
I get that.
I just need to see it all first. So for me, this actually is a Grizzlies line. This is a bet online, but yeah, for me, I actually just have to pass here.
I get that without seeing Ja for last year, and they do have a lot of new pieces in there, so I totally understand. We keep saying it. It is the first week of the NBA season for anybody who's just tuned in and wasn't here earlier. Tend to tread lightly, 1-unit bets. Let's learn about these teams, get some real data on the new teams, because every single team is different than what they were last year. No team is exactly the same. They're all new. We have to see how the new guys gel and how quickly it will take. Let's keep it moving. First, before we do, actually, we have a great comment from Joe. Memphis has multiple ways to win and championship wisdom and discipline, such as Marcus Smart. I think that they have that as well. They have some veterans along with some young guys that I think they're going to make a little bit of noise this year. I agree with you. We still have another couple comments I want to go over. Edgar is here as well, and he is posting that Giannis was spotted in shoot-around. I did see that as well a few minutes ago. Great sign for him to play, but you guys heard it from us first about 22 minutes ago. We all expect Giannis to play, so that is confirming what we are expecting. And Joe is saying Grizzlies play without Ja, so I'm done with riding for them. We'll see how they do. I think they are going to have a big game, Joe. All right, fellas, let's keep it moving. Next game we're going to be covering today, excuse me, is going to be the Phoenix Suns taking on the LA Clippers. Injury report from Alpha is going to be Josh Okogie is out for the Suns. True game time decisions in Damian Lee and Grayson Allen. On the other side, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, is there any point of talking about him being on an injury report? Because he just lives on the injury report. Nobody is on the injury report more than a guy like him. So, per usual, he is out and he is there. PJ Tucker, new addition, out. Mo Bamba, new addition, out. So there's definitely a few injuries on this Clippers team. JD, we're going to go to you. What do you got?
You know, the Clippers, with actually like who they're sending out there now, it's not somebody who I'm going to run to actually back. And that's especially like when they're actually playing an actual good team.
Yep.
And the Suns tonight, they are a good team. I will keep this very actually simple here, saying that I do think the Suns are the play tonight. As far as the line move, I definitely missed it. So, and actually, instead of laying the points with the Suns, I did come up with a little bit of a different way to play this. I did a parlay, an actual same game parlay here. Take the Suns, take them on the money line, and then take KD to score at least actually 20 points. I actually like it. I actually like his actual points line. I think it's at 23.5 or actually so. So I actually do like that. But yeah, and I should definitely like the Suns. So just take Suns on the money line and knock those points down actually just a little bit. And that came out to a -115.
I like that a lot. When you take a look at this Clippers team, who's going to be scoring in bulk for them outside James Harden? Who is he really still going to be able to put up points in bulk? We all saw at the end of last season, he became more of a facilitator. He was doing a much better job passing the ball instead of hitting shots. So in this game, you take a look at the lineup. James Harden starting point guard. At the 2 position, Norman Powell. At the 3 position, Terrence Mann. At the 4 position, Derek Jones. At the 5 position, Ivica Zubac, who has nobody behind him but Kai Jones, who I don't know if you guys know who Kai Jones is, but if you do, then you know who Kai Jones is. He's not exactly the best player on the court. So I do think the Clippers are going to struggle to get some points tonight, and the Suns will be able to score in bunches. I'm taking the Suns minus the 5. Currently, the line's at a -5 even. JD, you put it perfectly. It's exactly what I'm going to be playing, so I'm not going to take up any more time. Suns -5. Let's get it. Spence, what you got?
Yeah, you guys are all spot on, and I'm a little. I don't know if I should be a little nervous that we're all loving the
I am
games.
I'm nervous.
It's like when you're going on college game day, turn the show on like 10:30 to get these picks, and everyone's giving out the same thing, and you're like, oh shit, like maybe I should hop off. But no, man, I feel the exact same way about the Suns. I can't lay the 5 here. If I could have gotten it at like that 3.5 number, that's what I would have locked in as probably a best bet for me. But when you have Kawhi Leonard out, I mean, and he's always out on the offensive side and defensive side, when you can't get that two-way player like him in the game, it poses quite a bit of challenges for the Clippers here. And like we were talking about, you kind of spoke on it directly and hit the nail on the head per se. Harden needs to lead the show tonight, and I just don't see him having as big of an impact in the scoring column as we used to see when he was, let's say, on the Houston Rockets, for example. As you said, he's a big facilitator. I don't see that. I don't know how I could see that the Clippers can cover this. And I want to see. I'm really high. I can't say really high on the Suns this year, but I want to see what they can come about, and I'm interested to see what Vegas is going to do with them this year. Obviously, we haven't seen much of them last season as they couldn't come away with their offensive firepower that they had. But this year, I really want to see them get going. JD, I really love that play on KD, especially if you're going to give him a 23.5 number. With how much he can just score off the bounce without having to have plays drawn up for him. He can get that 15 number just within a quarter. So I do love that over prop that you had at 23.5 points. If I had to lean anything, I do like that 23.5 number for him to go over points on. And I do lean that Suns way, but just not high on the Clippers, especially with Kawhi being out.
I feel the exact same way. So, boys, I feel exactly how Spencer did as well. I'm a little nervous that we're all reading it the exact same way, but we will come back tomorrow and celebrate because I have a feeling we are going to all have a very strong day today. Quickly, before we go to the last game, Jordan Locks is in here asking us how we feel about Zach Edey's minutes projection. I think he's going to play a ton right now because they're missing Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J, and Gigi Jackson, which are their 2 kind of best big men right now. So I think, unfortunately and fortunately, because the best way to learn is to get thrown in there and to start playing, I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Zach Edey early in the season.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Kind of going back on that as well. And I know I didn't talk about it specifically, but I'm kind of interested on how they're going to be calling Zach Edey this year. Like, as a ref, and you kind of look at it, there was a bunch of like stuff that everyone was talking about back in the college game of how they were reffing Zach Edey. And when you kind of look at how they specifically are reffing big men, I'm interested to see how they're going to be calling fouls because it's really hard to ref these guys. Like, you give a LeBron, you give a Giannis, like those big guys, it's hard to ref them in the NBA. So I'm interested to see like what kind of fouls they're going to give them and some of the other things dependent on that.
I could not agree more. There's a lot that we're going to find out about this game. And this is kind of what we're saying this whole show is that we're going to have to learn how these teams are going to be playing people. And great comment by Jordan saying his preseason log was 18, 22, 22, 19, 20. I do think he is going to play a heavier dose now that all the guys are injured and in meaningful games. If it's a close game and he's playing well, I don't think you can really take him out. And Spencer, I agree. It's really going to be interesting to see the officiating on a guy like Zach Edey. We haven't seen a body like his play the way he does in a little bit at his size. So we'll see how teams handle that. I think he's going to be a beast. He's my rookie of the year. I'm not going to hide that. I think he's going to be an absolute beast. I'm excited to dive into his to see how he does this year. Quickly over to Bill Norman. I do not have a play on this game, but before we break down the last game, do either of you have a play on this game?
As far as the over, I was very close to playing that, but actually then the total actually bumped up a couple points. So I definitely had to lay off. As far as the Pacers side, I would definitely lean that way also. So if you take everything I just said and take the Pacers team total, there's probably a good play.
I respect it.
Respect it. Don't have any lean or play on this game, but shout out to all those people getting on YouTube and throwing us comments. We're getting those YouTube ticks up. So while you're at it, subscribe to our channel, throw us a like. These comments do help. So thank you for those comments on YouTube.
Keep the comments coming. We're here to answer every question you guys have. That's the best part about this show. We want to help you guys. That's why we're here. Any questions you have, ask us. We will do the best we can to try and get them answered. But fellas, let's move into the final game we're going to be breaking down today, which is going to be the Warriors taking on the Blazers. Per usual, I'm going to go over the injury report. They're saying Steph Curry is a true game time decision. Similar to Giannis, I think he's going. I don't think there's a way Steph Curry is going to be sitting out of this game, so I'm betting this game, anticipating Curry to be in the starting lineup. On the other side, a guy to me who is always out almost as much as Kawhi Leonard, Robert Williams. He's a pretty good center when he can play, but this guy has just not been able to stay healthy. He is out. Shaedon Sharpe, who was one of their top picks a year or two ago, he's going to be out till at least mid-November. And Matisse Thybulle, a trade acquisition they had last year, is also going to be out. Warriors, if they have Curry, look like they're going to be a fully loaded team. Is this another game, guys, where we think this is a small line on the Warriors? We all can see it's only a 5.5-point line, but do we think that there's a couple new pieces for them? It may take some time, like the Knicks, to get going. Or do we think they're playing a bad team as the Blazers? They should steam them. Spencer, what do you like?
Man, it's I don't know if this is getting really chalky for me, but I love the Warriors here in the spot. I'm not going to play their spread here. I am going to throw them in a money line parlay, and I'll talk about that when we come to the best bets. But I'm interested to look at what this team looks like without Clay. And I know we talked about it. That we're taking over their win total on a future line, but this shall be a very good defensive team, I think, this year. Looking to see Kuminga and obviously some of the others take a bigger impact on this team without Clay. I'm looking that Andrew Wiggins might be coming off the bench, as we saw some of the end of last season as well. I think he's going to be a big X factor in some of these wins and how far they're really going to make it. But when you look at the Blazers, one of the worst offensive teams in the NBA last year, not much has changed with the Blazers, and I don't really see them heading in any other direction this year. The Blazers were actually 1-3 in October last year and barely reaching 100 points a game. Like I said, they were ranked 29th offensively and with a 23rd ranked defense. And so I mean, there's not really much to say about this Blazers team. They really suck. So I'm really loving to see the Warriors this year. Obviously, with Draymond Green being my favorite player in the NBA. He's very tenacious. Look to see him get going on the defensive side, but I do expect Steph Curry to play. I don't know why he would miss this game. So yeah, give me the Blazers, or give me the Warriors in a money line parlay, and you'll see that fine tuned in the best bets.
Absolutely, and quickly, I'll go next, guys. This Blazers team is interesting. Why the hell on draft night did they use one of their top picks on Donovan Clingan when they just paid DeAndre Ayton and have Robert Williams? How many freaking centers do you want on the court at once? Which, by the way, none of them can shoot. So you're going to have three guys that can't hit a deep shot at the same position. That's where you're going to tool up in the NBA right now, where the center position is being phased out of the league. Bold strategy, I guess, is the way I'm thinking about it. But this team did improve in a couple areas. I do like the signing of Denny Avdija. He's coming over from the which team was he coming on? I'm blanking on the name now. The Wizards. And he was good for the Wizards, and he will be a good piece for them. They still have guys like Chris Murray. They still have Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons. But going to be honest, I feel exactly the same way Spencer does. I don't think this is a team that's built for success. They may have a couple good quarters here and there, but I think with the depth, with the way they're built, they're really going to struggle to play a full 48 minutes of basketball and to be able to compete with teams this year. I am all over the Warriors. I'll be completely transparent. The line has moved from 5.5 to 6, so I'm only going to give the current line. I am going to take the -6. I think they get it done. They should be able to steam them tonight. JD, close us out before best bets. What you got?
Yeah, this game is basically the same as that. What was it? I believe it was the Grizzlies game.
Mhm.
The Warriors, yeah, to me, they definitely seem like the right side. It's one that I just have to sit back from, though. It's one I just want to watch. I just want to see like how like everything goes here.
I respect it.
I will say, as far as a prop, as everybody's going to get to know, I like those really random, actually like 3-point props. And I didn't give this out because it's not available everywhere, but Bet365, they're hanging a Draymond Green 3 at actually only -125.
Really?
And I really like that. It's just at most books, you're probably going to get that in like the -160 to -170 range.
FanDuel -170.
Okay. Yeah. So, if actually you can get that, I actually definitely like that. But yeah, for me in this game, that is definitely going to be it, though.
The value hunter strikes again, finding you guys a -125 that's looking like it's -170 universally, and he's not a scumbag. He's not posting and taking this bet because I have one book that can find it. He's letting you know which book it's on, recommending if you can get that play to take it, but if not, it is still a -160. So great find, JD. I respect the hell out of that, and I love the way that you played that. Fellas, it's about that time. We've broken down the 5 games. We've talked about these new teams. But it is time for us to go into our best bets. You boys ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's get it, fellas. Best bet, NBA edition. And we're going to start off with our special guest, too. Spencer, we can't really call you a guest. You are our second person ever on with us. You are a legend here at MoneyBall Metrics. What do you got for the people today?
So I am going to be giving out 3 best bets. And I don't think, do we have that graphic pulled up? Otherwise, let me look at my, oh, there we go.
Nobody wants to see our faces anyway. We can leave this up today.
Yeah, no one wants to see my face anymore. I had some spotlight things on it. We were talking before the show, trying to get some tune-ups on our faces. But in lies my best bet. We're going to take the Milwaukee Bucks. -3.5. We're all in that game. Love that there for those reasons that we stated earlier. Give me the Grizzlies -2 that we talked about. And then going into that money line parlay, give me the Warriors and the Hawks on the money line parlay. Like this here, but those are going to be my 3 best bets. Obviously, treading a little lightly in the NBA openers, but yeah, those are my 3 best bets. So let's get going. Excited to see what the NBA has in store for us this season.
NBA season is back, Spencer. We are about to dominate. The Discord is about to dominate. JT is about to dominate, and we're all going to have a big night. Let me quickly go over my best bets, even though every single one of you can read it as is. I am on the Milwaukee Bucks -3.5. I'm on the Suns -6 now, or -5. It's down to a flat 5. I apologize. That was the Warriors. And the Magic +2. JD, what do you got for the people?
Yeah, give me that. Give me that Bucks play at -3.5 at -110 currently, and then actually give me that same game parlay, the Suns money line, and then actually KD over 19.5 points. And also, I'm actually going to add one on here.
Let's go.
Let's actually go to college football. Give me the Jacksonville State team total over. That's at 41.5. Tonight they should be able to do anything. Yeah, this number should be in actually like the 45 range.
Love it.
So yeah, I absolutely love them. Yeah, let's actually go with those 3.
I love it. Well, fellas, that's going to do it for the best bets. That's going to do it for the show. Spencer, thank you so much for hopping on with us. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Same time, same place. JD, say goodbye to the people.
One extra thing really quick. Joe, as far as your comment there, as far as the Rockets go, I do like that side.
Ooh.
I do like the over a little bit more. If you can get the Rockets team total in between the 118 to 119 range, I actually would play over there.
I'm on the over. I sent the over out this morning to let that out. So I am on the over. I am with JD. Let's cash and have a big night. JD,
Sir,
say goodbye to the people.
all right, guys. This is finally it. Let's have a big night. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking win. Spencer, smile for the people.
We're out, baby. Two's up. Let's go.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a great day. Let's cash.